The Broadcasting, Electronic and Media Workers Union and the Communication Workers Union are meeting this morning, we understand, to send an ultimatum to the SABC management. They'll ask SABC management to engage in further talks as a last resort to avert a possible strike at the public broadcaster. And it comes after the SABC issued letters of redundancy to staff following the conclusion of the retrenchment consultation processes last month. The SABC says it has reduced the number of employees who will be affected from 600 to just over 300. The public broadcaster says it has to reduce the wage bill to make the organization financially sustainable. We are still trying to get a hold of BEMAWU, but for the moment we have CW's Aubrey Tshabalala, who is on the line for us. Aubrey, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the agenda.
Good morning to you, and also good morning to the viewership.
Look, it comes at a time when a lot of workers are hurting this morning after receiving these letters on Monday and Tuesday. Tell us, what are you hearing from your members? How are they feeling?
Well, it's a somber moment at SABC. Members have been receiving letters from Monday, which indicates that the SABC is going ahead with the retrenchment. This is despite the fact that we have met the Ministers of Employment and Labour and the Minister of Communication, Digital and Technologies to outline the program. All the stakeholders saying that were called into a meeting. And we're still anticipating a meeting with the minister again to look into all the mechanisms that can be used to avoid retrenchment. Unfortunately, SABC is going ahead with the retrenchment. But one thing that I want to highlight is that on the 29th of December, we have requested SABC to give us the list of the affected workers, because retrenchment is about home bodies. It's not just a number, so that we can be able to represent those workers and engage them. Unfortunately, SABC said they don't have that list. But to our surprise, they are able to send workers the letters of termination of employment, which talk to numbers. And when we look at it, from where we are standing without any evidence beyond our limitation as a union, as our membership, we think that number is going beyond the 303 that has been announced in public on media. And noting that they've also said to us is only going to be 290. So in our view, they are not engaging us in good faith.
So obviously you would not necessarily know about those non-unionized workers and the workers from BEMAWU, but from the CWU's point of view, how many workers have received letters?
Well, we are still consolidating. So far, the numbers that have been forwarded to us, or the letters that have been forwarded to us, I can confirm to you from CW side that is not more than 50. But obviously, there are those who are still on the leave days, who when they get to work, they will find their letters waiting for them. And there are those who have not yet sent it to us as yet. But we think that when we look at the radio output alone, every worker there has been given a letter. So the number can go beyond 300, as we are told in November that only 400 vacancies or positions were affected, only to find out that more than 800 workers received letters. So we want SABC to be more transparent in this process, but we also want to highlight which skills are going to be taken away, because as we have said it in the last 30 days, as SABC has now begun to review some of the positions. Some of the skills that they were taking away, SABC could not have afforded to go without them.
You mentioned this number of 290. Tell us more how this number came about. Were you in conversation with the SABC? Is that how you got the number 290?
Yes, the 290 came in front of the facilitator. They've told us that the affected positions is 209. That's when we asked them to give us the list of those workers. They further went on to say that there's 170 vacancies. We then said to them, give us those vacancies so that we can be able and match them with the affected workers and be able to advise our members correctly. That all has not been done. We're surprised, like everyone else, to hear from the media that actually the number now is 303, not as opposed to 290. And less is now been said about these vacancies that are available. Instead, this is what we get from the media. So it will tell you if a representative of a union does not know who is actually affected, one. Two, the representative of workers does not know what is the cost of the new structure. That's the second point. And thirdly, how do we then balance the new strategy vis-a-vis the old strategy? Because initially SABC said to us, they are embarking on this process to cut the salary bill so that they can sustain SABC. Yeah. But what we have seen, there's an increase of the expenditure from the SABC side, particularly that the number of workers will basically be converted from permanent to freelancer, which is casualization, in radio, the radio presenters and so forth. So there's no basically retrenchment. It's just to change the structure of SABC, which will be more expensive going to the future.
So, Aubrey, the understanding is that between Monday and Tuesday, that was yesterday, there was letters of redundancy issued, also letters of surplus issued, but also the SABC talks about letters of retraction. Do you know how many members received these letters, or the letters were retracted?
Well, we haven't received. In fact, instead of getting people confirming the retraction of letters from our side, probably the non-unionized and BEMAWU can talk to that. We have been receiving additional people getting letters of redundant or other surplus. So hence our suspicion is that. And we still made an effort to write to the board to say, can you please furnish us with correct information? We've done that on Monday. Till to date, last week we wrote, so on Monday it was a second letter going to the board. So up until this point in time, there has not been a response coming to us to clarify on those issues.
I guess the big question now, Aubrey, is what's the next step? What's your plan of action?
We are actually meeting with BEMAWU. On Monday, our members have met and they've taken a decision to say, look, we ought to try all the mechanisms that we have at our disposal. We have started to engage the minister. We are going to write to the portfolio committee. But meeting with the BEMAWU now on the resolution of our members said that we must embark on industrial action to try to stop SABC going ahead with this retrenchment process. Obviously, we have to look at the strategies, what can be done, considering the fact that we are in the lockdown level 3 with regulations. But over and above that is the fact that people are dying of COVID-19, so we don't want to risk our members to that situation. So all this discussion will be unfolding with BEMAWU today, and the last one will be the National Executive Committee of both unions. So on Friday, we'll be revealing the plan on how we'll go forward with the strike.
All right, Aubrey Tshabalala, CWU, we thank you very much indeed for your time, sir. Be well.
Thank you very much.
All right.